Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome to Daily's 2A News. This is a channel where we focus on Second Amendment news across the country. Today we're going to talk about the Firearm Policy Coalition's request for an injunction in the California assault weapons ban. Now, I think we all understand that California and gun control go hand in hand. One of the ways that the California government infringes on its citizens' Second Amendment rights is by banning commonly owned firearms, semi-automatic firearms, that they call assault weapons. By calling it assault weapons and changing the definition, they feel that in some way that allows them to ban them based on characteristics alone. These are firearms that are in common use across the country, used for sporting purposes and self-defense purposes, and should be protected under the Constitution and especially in the Supreme Court judgment in Heller. Now, with that being said, there is a case right now which is winding its way through the federal court system that challenges California's assault weapons ban, also known as the AWCA or the Assault Weapons Control Act. That case is Miller v. Becerra. Becerra is the Attorney General of the state of California. Now, on December 6th, the Firearms Policy Coalition filed for a preliminary injunction in this case, and that preliminary injunction is currently sitting in front of none other than Judge Roger T. Benitez. You guys might recognize that name. He is responsible for one of the greatest Second Amendment weeks in all of California history, which Californians have aptly named Freedom Week. At that time, Californians were allowed to own, purchase, possess, import, transfer any magazine that they chose, even if it held more than 10 rounds. That case was Duncan v. Becerra. Now, the arguments in Duncan v. Becerra are actually being used in Miller v. Becerra, and because of the fact that this preliminary injunction is sitting in front of the same judge who's responsible for Freedom Week, there is a lot to be excited about. Now, I want to read you guys a couple very important quotes and paragraphs directly from the article over at the Firearms Policy Coalition website, which I'll link down below, and I suggest you read the entire thing. Also, if you're not, consider becoming a member, and if you're already a member, consider donating because they are fighting for our Second Amendment rights. Now, the first quote is going to be coming from Brandon Combs, who is the president of the FPC. The second is going to be coming from Adam Kraut. You guys might know that name from the legal brief over at the Gun Collective. He's now working directly with the Firearms Policy Coalition, so it's nice to know that he is on board. So the first quote again from Brandon Combs, quote, "The state of California may not ban common semi-automatic firearms with common characteristics." I think that's a very important quote because it kind of reads directly from Heller, again, which is a Supreme Court case that ruled on the Second Amendment. Now, the next quote we have here, which again is from Adam Kraut, says, quote, "California's ban on so-called assault weapons finds no quarter under any proper reading of the Constitution," said FPC's Director of Legal Strategy, Adam Kraut. Quote, "Currently, Californians are constrained from exercising their right to keep and bear arms in a manner that would allow them access to firearms that are in common use for lawful purposes. This lawsuit seeks to vindicate their rights." And I absolutely love the ending of that quote. This lawsuit seeks to vindicate their rights which have essentially been taken by the California government. Now, obviously, I don't have a crystal ball and nobody can predict the future, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen here. But I do love the fact that there is so much movement as it pertains to the Second Amendment in the state of California. People in the state of California are having their Second Amendment rights infringed upon on a daily basis, and it needs to stop. So having Duncan v. Becerra, the magazine ban, going through the federal court system, having Miller v. Becerra go through as it pertains to assault weapons, I think that these are all great steps in possibly restoring the freedoms of those people in California. And if these freedoms are restored, guaranteed that will be precedent for other cases that are taking place across the country right now in states that are trying to do the same thing as California. So we really need to put our full effort behind this movement to restore rights to those people that are having their rights infringed. And I know I've said it before and I kind of harp on it, but I think it's a very important part that we support the people who are supporting us in court. These things are extremely expensive. They take a lot of man hours, a lot of time, and without the support of the people who are enjoying our Second Amendment rights, or at least trying to fight for our Second Amendment rights to get them back, without our support, there's no way that they can continue. So if we want our rights restored, we have to help them help us. So I want to thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. You guys have a great day.